Hey guys, welcome to the channel Market and Charted. In today's video we are going to talk about stock market cycles and the psychology of them and why this is extremely important. Because you need to understand market psychology, stock market and economic cycles, so you always understand where we are and what can we do. And this is a market chart that you can see that is really close, if you remember, to the ARC ETF of technology at the same situation. But let's go step by step and talk about it. So first of all, we start in the bottom of a market, usually in disbelief that basically everyone thinks a small rally on the stock will fail and it would be just like the others. And I compare this to also 2021, where we were in the uranium stock cycle. Then we start to see a possibly hope a recovery is possible. You know, the stock market already went up, or the commodity ETF or the stock itself already went up 10-15%. So people starting to think, okay, maybe this can have legs to run. Then you have the cycle of optimism, where the rally is really real, new buyers coming into the market, and they try to make believe the others, the old investors. They're starting to understand, okay, this is something that can actually match the intrinsic value. Like, for example, again, in uranium, where new investors coming in, hedge funds, made all of us that did the research on this uranium commodity that would think, okay, this is something possible to take the price higher. Then you have the thrill and the euphoria. This is where everyone will start to leverage their bets, starting to go with loans, and everyone saying is to buy, and all of them are genius, everyone is going to be rich, etc., etc. This is exactly the point. You need to know it's time for at least to take something out of the table. Doesn't mean you have to sell it all, but at least you need to be aware that this euphoria cycle can be over pretty soon. A peak in price may coming, which is exactly the point of maximum financial risk. So you see psychological here to the right, also to the stock market risk. You see a peak in euphoria is also usually a peak on the stock price. So in here you take something out of the table. Then we have our first major correction. In this first major correction, no one wants to believe the rally is over. No one wants to believe that the stock market is going to fall. This is exactly beginning of this year in the Nasdaq, for example. After a peak in December, we have a second lower high in Jan-Feb. And that's exactly the complacency, where everyone said we just need to cool off a bit for the next rally. You know, stock prices is calming down, but new investors will come. Then we have another crash on the stock price. This one is going to make a lower low, and this is when the anxiety and denial starts to kick in, because most of these investors already lost 50% if they jump in on the time of the euphoria. So this is where we have a major contraction on the stock price. Also, the first investors are starting to become really nervous, you know, and the leverage buyers especially, they start to think, am I going to get any margin calls? This dip is taking longer than expected, you know. But there are also some of them in denial, where they think, okay, my investments are in great companies. Again, ARC invest in technology, major companies that they have, like, for example, PayPal, Block, etc., etc. Then we have the panic, because the market keeps going down and everyone starts to selling. Everyone thinks it's time for us to get out, and comes the capitulation. And that's really the point now, that we are trying to find the bottom on the major stock indexes right now. We are trying to find exactly the capitulation, where everyone says, I'm going to get out 100% of the market. Unfortunately, this is always happening in cycles, and it must happen again. The new investors of 2020, 2021 must go out of the market before we have now a new cycle, before we starting to go to the max financial distress, max financial pain, and then we start the recovery, expansion, prosperity once again. So for now, we have to find this capitulation moment. When it's coming, no one knows. But again, keep dry powder, keep cash on the side, so you will buy when everyone is selling is exactly the bottom of the market. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Never forget, knowledge is not power, knowledge is potential power, execution is everything. And just like the markets, we will not rest.